welcome back to Little Hollow Homestead. Today we're going to cook our very first pork roast from the recently processed pigs that we've been growing all spring and summer. We've had pork chops already and they're delicious. They turned out really good, nice and tender, just really superior tasting pork. So let's take a peek at our pork roast, see how it's coming. Looks like it's coming along just right. The recipe for this is, as you can see, it's in this tinfoil little container. You actually cook it in half a cup of apple juice. So the recipe that I followed, got it off the Traeger website. I took my injector and injected the roast with apple juice, and then I rubbed mustard all over it as a binding agent to hold the spices to the meat. You can use basically whatever spice you want. Traeger wants to sell you their pork rub. I like Montreal steak seasoning. I like garlic salt, so I usually put a lot of garlic in it. But just kind of whatever spices you like. But we'll let this cook for another couple hours, and we'll show you the finished product when we get everything ready. We're going to go in the house and start preparing the spaghetti squash that we grew this summer, and then show you one of our homegrown chickens that my wife is going to boil and debone for later in the week. What are you cooking?
Chicken rice bake.
She's cooking chicken rice bake, whatever that is. I'm sure it'll turn out great. But we'll take you in a minute and show you that. So this is some of the garlic we raised last year. I love garlic, so this is going to, I'm going to peel these and put these with our pork roast and bake them along with the final 2 hours of cook time left on it. So if you've never tried this trick for peeling garlic before, you just break your clove apart, put the individual little cloves in a container. They say it works better in a metal container, but I've used this with pretty good success. Escapee. Thank goodness. This must be hard neck garlic. Dad joke, sorry. And then put your lid on. I think you have to do this for 30 seconds. And if you'll see, voila, peeled garlic. Actually, I'll put them on this. So most of your garlic's going to come out looking like that, with this fluff all over them. So we'll wash those in a minute. Any ones that, well, that one kind of did it. They're fairly easy to peel, even if that husk hasn't come all the way off. But there you go. And we'll wash all the fluff off of them. Any of the ones that didn't peel or start to peel, we'll repeat the process. So we'll get all these peeled, washed, and we'll bring you along where we put them out on the pork roast. We'll see you in just a minute. Okay, so we got the garlic all peeled. I had to take my sweater off, that was hard work. But now we just take the garlic, we're just gonna set it on top of the roast. If you've never had roasted garlic, I suggest you try it. It is really good stuff. So hopefully the timing will be about right. These garlic cloves will be nice and cooked and mushy about the same time the roast is done. And we'll come back in a little bit and check on it. Alice, do you like pork? Yeah. Do you like chicken better? Yeah, I think you like chicken better, huh? Yeah. We'll barbecue a mouse. Want to trade her a mouse? Okay. I know. So in keeping with our theme today of a cooking show, this is one of the Cornish cross chickens that we raised this spring. My wife, like I said, she likes to boil these, get all the meat off of them, then use them in different recipes. Chicken enchiladas. I think this time it's chicken rice casserole. But very handy to have a freezer full of these to pull out whenever you need them. And we'll show you that process as well later. Okay, so now the chicken's done. My wife just peels the skin off, and then just separates the meat from the bone and fat. And then you've got chicken to use in whatever recipe you like. You could even bag this up in freezer bags and freeze it so it's ready to go if you can't use the whole chicken in a week. Since there's just the two of us at home, sometimes the chicken is a hard thing to eat in a week for just two of us. But there you go. That's the process of the reason we grow meat chickens right there. Number one, the quality is fantastic. If you've ever grown these Cornish crosses before, very good weight gain, a short amount of time. We butcher ours between 7 and 8 weeks. We tend to butcher them a little early just because we like the younger bird. Seems to provide a little nicer, tender meat. So come springtime, we'll start down the road of raising meat chickens again. Probably start about the first part of April. I keep them in the brooder for about 3 weeks. So every 3 weeks I'll get a new batch. And we butcher them, like I say, at 7.5 to 8 weeks. Probably do that 3 different times. We order 25 at a time, just to make it more manageable. Any more than 25, and that makes for a long day. We don't have one of those big automatic tub pluckers. I've just got my little invention that we use to defeather them. But 25 is enough for us in one day. 3 times a year, and we got meat chickens to last us a whole year. So if you've seen my previous gardening videos, you'll appreciate how special these spaghetti squash are. I battled squash bugs all year long, and I think we maybe got 6 spaghetti squash out of our garden this year. Pretty dismal production, but we got something. And I killed a lot of squash bugs in the process. So if you've ever done spaghetti squash before, we just cut off the ends. Looks like I dropped that one. Cut the ends off, and then we split it. Pretty simple. If you've never had spaghetti squash before, probably should have a cutting board. Take that, and we're going to take a spoon. I swear I had a spoon out here. There it is. And we'll just take those seeds out. I'm a big fan of saving seeds. However, I wasn't really impressed with this variety of spaghetti squash this year. Burpee has a spaghetti squash seed that does really well, especially in our climate here in Utah. It's called lots of pasta or hosta pasta. Lots of pasta. Anyway, I'll show you a picture of that in a minute in the video. But so we just do this. You can rub these with olive oil, season them, and then we'll place them face down on the cookie sheet, and we throw them in the oven. And so we'll do that. chainsaw. You'll notice I didn't learn my lesson and get a cutting board. I'm doing the same thing twice. The definition of stupidity is doing the same thing twice and expecting different results, or however that saying goes. Okay, so those will all go back out to the chickens. We try to run everything through chickens, pigs, or dogs, or cats. Chickens are omnivores, they'll eat about anything. Like I was saying, this is the variety of spaghetti squash I'm going to grow next year. Hopefully you can see that okay. Comes from Burpee and it's called Hosta La Pasta Hybrid. Gets really good reviews. Anyway, check it out. I think this will be a good spaghetti squash for us to grow here in our climate. So just spray this lightly, just so the spaghetti squash doesn't stick. Here again, use whatever spice you like. Really simple. Put them face side down. And we'll stick those in the oven here in a minute and we'll show you the finished product. Once the squash is done, you just scoop it out with a fork. And now you can see why they call it spaghetti squash. And what do you put in this after you get it scooped out?
Sometimes butter and salt and pepper.
There you go, pretty simple. Okay, let's get this off the grill, see how it looks. Looks done to me. Maybe. Those little nuggets of goodness. Okay, let's take it in, carve it up, and see how it turned out.
I got the deer.
Let me get these out of the way. Looks like it's done all the way through. Looks good to me. You can see that smoke ring. The smoke ring around the meat there, if you can see that. That's what you're always after. You can tell that side was up and this was down in the apple juice because there's no smoke ring on the bottom. Okay, we'll get this all put together and show you a finished plate, and we'll chow down. So there you go. Homegrown, out of a box. and from the store. Unfortunately, we did not grow our own lettuce this time. Okay, so thanks for stopping by Little Hollow Homestead on this cold, rainy winter day. Really frigid outside, so we did a little cooking video. Hope you enjoyed it. Something a little different we haven't done before. Anyway, feel free to subscribe, leave comments, give me a thumbs up. Appreciate you stopping by and supporting the channel. Have a good one. See you next time.